Hi everyone, welcome back. We are discussing about the sexual reproduction in the plants, and we have discussed already the parts of the flower as well as we are going to discuss now how pollination will be taking place, how fertilization will be taking place, and how the sexual reproduction will be taking place in the plants. Okay, let us go. First of all, pollination. Transferring of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the flower. This is called as simply pollination, and it is of two types. Already I discussed about that one: self pollination as well as cross pollination. Self pollination means transferring the pollen grains from anther of one flower to stigma of the another flower of the same plant. This is called self pollination. For the self pollination, there is no necessary of agents to carry the pollen grains, because the pollination will be done within the same plant, and the plants which are grown by the self pollination having any kind of good variations, and also there is no wastage of pollen grains, but no variations will be taking place in the resulted plant. That is the major drawback in the self-pollination. When come to the cross-pollination means it's a phenomenon of the pollination, transferring the pollen grains, anther of one flower to stigma of the another flower of another plant of same kind. This is called cross-pollination. Here the pollen grain should be carried from one plant to another plant. So there will be wastage of pollen grains. They may reach the other plant or not. We cannot give the consideration, guarantee. But for the carrying of the pollen grains, these plants needed the extra energy in the form of transportation. That means agents are necessary for cross pollination. Those are called as pollinators, and these agents may be two types. As I told you that biotic agents the biotic agents are insects, birds, animals, including human beings. These are the biotic agents. So as I told you that the corolla, the petals, the colored petals which are presented in the flower, which will attract all the pollinators for the cross pollination. The transferring of pollen grains from anther to stigma of the another flower of the another plant of another same kind. This is called cross pollination. For the transferring of pollen grains, the plants need agents, in that biotic agents, so that the pollen grains are transferred. If the pollen grains are transferred by insects, then it is called as entomophily. The process of transferring the pollen grains by insects is called as entomophily. If suppose the insects like butterflies, honeybees, moths, these are the major insects, will visit the flowers continuously. When the flowers are visiting and settled on the petals of the flowers, the pollen grains will be attached to the body of the insects. And when such an insect will be visiting the one more flower and settled on the petals of the flower, and these pollen grains from the body of the insects will be fallen on the stigma of the another flower. So that is the pollination will be taking place. So insects plays an important role in the cross pollination, especially the butterflies as well as the honeybees. And it was one survey was telling that each honeybee can visit nearly 10 lakhs of flowers per day to collect the honey. So this is the honeybees play very much important role in the cross pollination. This phenomena is called entomophily. And if the pollen grains are transferred by birds, birds like hummingbird, sparrows and parrots, almost all kinds of birds, among them hummingbird plays an important role here. It will visit the number of flowers daily. So, if the pollen grains are transferred by the birds, then it is called as ornithophily. If the animals, including the human beings, are visiting the flowers, are transporting helping the transportation of the pollen grains, then it is called as zoophily. So almost the flowers may be brightly colored and strongly scented. The fragrance may be good or sometimes bad also. Suppose if you take the elephant, an animal which visit the flower is called as the world largest flower, Rafflesia. This is the flower which gives the stinky mutton smell. The smell is a meat. When the meat is completely decayed, what type of smell will be there? No, that smell will be given by this flower, and that smell is attracted by elephant. Okay, so the elephant visiting this flower and eating that flower and indirectly helping the cross pollination. Okay, and next one, if you take the bat, the flower called as a cactus, the desert flower, and the bats will be moving in the night time only, so it is white in color, the flower is white in color, so in the dark also it will be looks brightly. So the bat is attracted by color of that flower, not by the smell of that flower, because the flower won't give any kind of fragrance. Okay, so this way different animals, different birds and different insects may visit the flowers and help in the cross pollination. This is the biotic agents. When come to the abiotic agents, abiotic agent means non-living agents. Actually the meaning is non-living agents like air and water. These are the abiotic agents. So the pollination which is done, the cross pollination which is done by the air is called as anemophily. And the pollination which is done by the water is called hydrophily. So for the hydrophily, the flower is Vallisneria flower, and anemophily, all the monocot plants like grass, agricultural plants, these are all, the flowers of these plants are gone under the cross pollination by anemophily, that is by wind. Okay. And now we will discuss the second step of this sexual reproduction in the plants, that is fertilization. Let us learn about that. If you take the part of the flower where the sexual reproduction takes place, this is the stigma, this is style, this is ovary. Ovary consisting of small ball-like structures which are generally as ovules or megaspores. So fertilization fertilization means it's a phenomena of fusing of male gamete with female gamete and producing fertilized egg. This is called as fertilization. So here two words you have got it. That is male gamete and the female gamete. Male gamete, in the case of plants, male gamete is nothing but pollen grain or pollens we can say. Next female gamete is ova or we can say ovum. These are the two male gamete as well as the female gametes. And these two, the male gamete is fusing with the female gamete. Remember here, female gamete never move from one place to another place. It's not a motile. Okay. It will be sessile. It will be stay at one place. Whereas male gamete will be moving from one place to another place. That means male body to female body. Okay. That is the, here the pollen grains are the male gametes. These will be carried by the agents what we discussed earlier. And the male gamete, the pollen grain will be fallen on the stigma of the female reproductive system. This is the pollen grain. Once you see the structure of the pollen grain, this is the pollen grain. It will be having the two layers. It will be having the two layers. Outer layer is called as exine, which is very much tough, strong, not flexible, rigid. It's completely rigid. Tough, strong, rigid. And inner layer is called as intine, which is very much flexible and thin layer. So these are the two layers are covering the pollen grain. Inside the pollen grain there are two types of nucleus will be presented there. One is larger, another one is smaller. Smaller one is called as a germ nucleus. And larger one is called as a vegetative nucleus. Vegetative nucleus. So here in the exine there will be some depressions will be presented in the intervals, and these depressions are called as germ pores. So when this pollen grain is fallen on the stigma, and stigma releases a gum-like structure to attach the pollen grains, and because of the chemical reaction between the stigma and the pollen grain, and the inner layer of this pollen grain, that is intine, will be broken and form the long tube-like structure like this, and this is called as pollen tube. And this pollen tube will carry the germ nucleus towards the ovary. Germ nucleus towards the ovary. Okay, this is going on here. Let us see in a diagram. Suppose if you take a ovary, the pollen tube will be coming this way, and it is carrying the male nucleus. Here you can see the male nucleus, and here ova, this is embryo sac. So the fertilization will be taking place in the embryo sac. When you observe the embryo sac, there are Some parts are presented here. 3 cells which are attached to the upper part of the embryo sac, these are called antipodals. And 3 of them, in the 2 are very similar cells will be presented, and these 2 are called as synergids. And 1 egg cell will be presented there, and 2 polar nuclei will be presented in the center by attaching each. 2 polar nuclei. So the pollen grain, the pollen tube will be carrying the pollen grains and reaching the pollen, this embryo sac, and enter the embryo sac through a small opening is called as micropyle. So this pollen tube, this is the pollen tube as I told you already, pollen tube. This pollen tube may be generally it will be entered from the sidewards and through the micropyle. So this type of entry of the pollen tube through the micropyle, porogamy, it is called as a porogamy. Sometimes, very rarely, this pollen tube may be entered from the top of the embryo sac. That is, the top is called as chalaja. So it is called chalajogamy. Sometimes this pollen tube may be entered through the cross in between. This is called mesogamy, through integuments. These are called as integument, outer layers. Okay. So whatever it is that the pollen tube is entered into that one, while before entering is this one, this male nucleus, this is the male nucleus, will be become 2 male nucleus, male nuclei, and one of the male nuclei will be fusing with egg cell, and another one of the male nuclei will be fusing with polar nuclei. So like this. So there are 2 types of fertilization will be taking place in the flower of the plant. 2 fertilization will be taking place. One fertilization between male nucleus plus egg cell, haploid cell, and haploid cell forms zygote, a diploid cell. Haploid cell means only one set of chromosomes will be presented there. Diploid cell means 2 sets of chromosomes will be presented. In the 2 sets of chromosomes, one will be from the mother side, another one will be from the father side. Okay. So one male nucleus and one egg cell forms the zygote. This is the normal fertilization, and this zygote is developed into embryo, embryo developed into seed, seed developed into plant. This is the one fertilization, and this is called syngamy. This is called as syngamy. In the second fertilization between male nucleus plus pronucleus, pronuclide. So this is the haploid cell and this is the diploid cell. So form the endosperm, which is having the 3 sets of chromosomes, triploid cell. That is called triploid cell. Okay, this endosperm is a nutritive material which is helpful for the plant at the time of germination. Until the plant produces its own food, this endosperm will provide the food to the plant. Okay, so here this is called triple fusion, because one male nucleus is fusing with 2 pronuclei. So three of them are fusing together, combining together. So it is called triple fusion. Understand? So the one is syngamy, another one is triple fusion. So double fertilization will be taking place in the flower of the plant. Double fertilization. Double fertilization will be taking place in the flower, and by this, in this you can see that one is a zygote is formed in the one fertilization, another fertilization endosperm will be produced. So after the fertilization, the ovary become fruit, the ovary become fruit, ovule become seed, ovule become seed, and integuments become the seed coat, okay, and egg cell become embryo, endosperm become cotyledons. They are the some changes will be occur after the fertilization. This is the way the sexual reproduction will be taking place in the plant. Okay, in the next video I will send that video in the on Sunday. In that video we will discuss about the human reproductive system. Okay, on Sunday I will send you that video. Okay, thank you very much.